So my wife has a perception about the gurus, and she thinks that yeah, all the gurus are basically into money making stuff, influencing people's mind, and she has a point of view of her own about all these things. So I somehow some time back I made her watch a few of your videos, and she told, yeah, means she was not very convinced about the things. And whenever we have a discussion, when I'm giving my point of view, she always tells me that this point of view is coming from one of your babas you listen to, and this is not your point of view. And this is this is all impractical stuff they feed into your mind. So much so that it is becoming almost impossible for me to converse on any topic to her. And the situation means for last 15 days has been like this, that I am not totally conversing with her, and I am at very peace with it. I am able to devote more time to studying Upanishads and listening to lectures and other things. And somehow I feel, yeah, uh, means whenever I observe other people's behavior nowadays, especially, I'm getting kind of irritated why people devote more time to watching movies, listening to filmy songs, and all those things. This is not. But yeah, probably I don't talk to them regarding this. This is a irritation inside me only. And this all means whenever I am with Upanishads, with your videos, or with somebody, some else literature, I'm at very peace. But still now since for going on this path, that peace, whenever I'm talking, that peace is getting disturbed. So what's the optimal way to go forward in such kind of a relationship?
You have to figure out where her desires really converge with yours, and that convergence will not be at the superficial level, right? At the superficial level, you may want one thing and she will want something else. It will require all the courage and tact that a husband can summon to display to the wife that you are only wanting much the same thing that she too actually wants, that your ways are not diverging. The resistance that near ones often display towards the spiritual movement of a family member is because of the fear that they might lose him. If this fellow becomes spiritual, he will turn an ascetic. He will lose all interest in the family members and family affairs. He will not take care of us anymore. All these concerns are there. So there is a resistance towards spirituality. You have to address this divergence, because this divergence is not real. Goodness can never be exclusive. Something that is really good can never be good for one and very bad for the other. You have to very subtly and very tactfully demonstrate to people that what you are doing and what you are reading and what you are understanding is of a general good. It is not something personal or particular to you. It is something that all of us want, all of us need, and all of us will benefit from, even if just one of us understands something. The real threat perception is that of someone breaking away. You have to clarify that rather than breaking away, spirituality builds bridges, highlights convergences. Isn't it true that one of the fundamental messages is that all divisions are false, that all distinctions are unreal? So that's what Vedanta is teaching you. Give up divisions. They don't mean much, they only feed your ego. So then how can someone be afraid that the Vedanta student will break away or run away or divide the family? So you have to start from where the objection raisers stand. They have enough problems of their own. They have deep desires of their own. Address their problems and their desires. You can defend Vedanta only indirectly, because the teachings and the principles are so subtle that they can be just slaughtered if it comes to an uninformed debate. You mention Shivoham to an uninitiated person, and he will laugh at you. You say Pragyamanyam Brahm to someone who doesn't know, and he'll tear you apart. A while back we were seeing the consequences of not rightly interpreting what Jagat Mithya means. Right? So don't get into Vedanta as such. It will require a lot of effort and also the company of a capable teacher to really bring the points home. Instead, I would suggest get into the lives of those who are close to you and see where they need help. And all of us need help.
Definitely, it's not actually about Vedanta. It's our general discussion is not about Vedanta. It's more of like, means like sleeping together or initiating sex, or means like watching a movie together, or discussing about relatives and means their shortcomings together. Means I really don't want to engage in any of these activities, because I feel now means understanding has come sort of that means this is only downgrading my consciousness further. And This is the only answer I give to her, that yeah, means not in terms of consciousness. I tell her that this takes my energy, this takes our energy to a unnecessary direction. Let's not do it. But then it creates a lot of insecurity if she is like cursing someone and I'm not helping her in cursing that person. So she takes it for that I'm taking that person's side. Means although I have demonstrated it in my actions that this is not what it is, but still those insecurities seek in because of various of these reasons. So I cook twice a day. I take care of the kids. Means I demonstrate all the activities a husband has to demonstrate. But still, means when these there are unnecessary securities, so my patience also gives in sometimes, and I can't deal with unnecessary insecurities. So actually, to start with, it's not about Vedanta. I have not started talking to her in terms of Vedanta or anything else. It's just a daily, day-to-day life discussion. I don't want to engage in some activities and then that gives her insecurity.
Can you tell her that even she does not want to engage in those things, and she engages in those things because she does not see any better option? Your friends, your parents, your wife, they are all human beings just as you and me are. Right? We all want the same thing, don't we? That's the convergence, that's the oneness I am talking of. The things that she might be currently drawing pleasure from, she has to go to those things just because she does not see an alternative. And I am not trying to just generously support your wife or women in general. This is indeed the case. I am not being generous, I am just being real. We all want that one thing that you now have a whiff of, right? She wants much the same thing. Much the same thing. In fact, it should be a matter of great and deep, what should I say, for want of a better word, amusement for you to look into her eyes and see how consciousness that really wants liberation acts in self-defeating ways. It's like looking at the eyes of someone who really wants water, but is instead asking for 10 other miscellaneous things. And in the long list of things that she wants to talk about, there is no water at all. And if someone talks of water, she resents. Isn't it a great miracle? This is Maya. This is Maya. Do not accuse her of wanting this and that. All this and that stuff that she wants is causing much more trouble to her than it is causing to you. And I repeat, do not forget that all of us are fundamentally the same and we all want the same one thing. So I said, can you, with insight and tact, point out to her how her real desires are different from and deeper than her apparent activities. You talked of gossiping against relatives, right? We all very well know that this stuff helps nobody. But we also know how prevalent it is and how it happens in every household and every relationship. It's not helping, but it's happening all the time everywhere. What does that tell you? There is something that needs addressal, but it is not getting addressed, so something else is happening all the time. So do not hold it against her. Though I know it's a great temptation, and it appears quite justified to blame a person who is acting in self-harming ways. But still, in the moments when you are still and when you can see through human constitution and the way Maya works on us, you will realize that what we call as evil or shades of evil is nothing but ignorance. We behave in wasteful ways, often terrible ways, not because we are bad people, but because we are ignorant people. That ignorance has to be addressed. Well, gentle probing, gentle questioning, right? Do not try to defend the gurus. The gurus have done very little to deserve any defense. And do not try to defend Vedanta. It will be very difficult to raise a defense in front of an uninitiated person. Instead, get into her life. That's what matters to her. Try making available small, illuminating experiences without acting big, without wearing the hat of the teacher. It will be very difficult for any woman to accept her husband as the teacher. So please remain for her what she has accepted you as. Remember that the relationship was not founded on discipleship, or was it? She didn't accept a guru into her life. She didn't offer her hand to a priest, or did she? Right. So please do remain to her what she came to you as. But if you realize things, if your own consciousness is brighter now and higher now, then your very engagement will act as an uplifter. And sitting here on this comfortable chair as I utter these words, I fully realize, believe me, how arduous it all is. But then, karma phal.
But sometimes what happens, what the mind says is, I was reading that in one of your discourse that the बुद्ध जो बुद्ध होते हैं वो बहुत स्वार्थी होते हैं they are very selfish. So taking that cue that I am responsible for my liberation first and later for the liberation of other people. So first I should get rid of all this garbage which is filled in me. Then I have the right to tell to other person yes, or then I might have some light to show to other person. So that is not there. So when this thought arrives, so the mind says, okay, then it's better not to have any communication at all. And
see, could you do that, Gautam? I would have.
Yes.
See, listen, please. Otherwise, I might lose this. You see, could you do this? I would have said, please go ahead and do this.
Yes.
Had you had it in you to act a Siddhartha Gautam and leave everything and everybody behind one night and walk away to the jungle, I would have said, come on, do it right now, this night. The thing is, you will not be able to do that. It's a mere fantasy. Why are you indulging yourself? So I am telling you of something that you can afford. Irrespective of how deeply you complain against your wife here on this long distance thing, you will go back to her. And also, believe me, it might be a bit hurtful. A few rolling tears down the wife's cheeks are going to mean much more to you than all of Guru's sermons. This is our condition. See, I have said it's a mutual condition. It's a general, universal thing. That's how we are. It's the body. The wife is the body. Remember, this body is wife. This body is the wife. You can't do away with her so coolly and so easily. So why even imagine?
No, Acharya, this time it is actually whatever you are saying exactly right. Means previously it has happened, few tears roll down, I go back to her. But this time there is a certain kind of a zid. Means like no, whatever has to happen will happen. I am not that.
All your zid will melt. This does not hold.
So if it doesn't melt, then I can probably be a Siddhartha Gautam. Like
be a Siddhartha Gautam, fine. See whether you can do that. If you can do that, then you don't need to discuss with me, Gautam.
Sure.
Huh? Also, when you said my liberation comes first, my liberation is liberation from me. What do you mean by my liberation? Liberation of this particular individual body? What is my liberation? If I am thinking of my personal liberation, am I still liberated? If I am thinking of my personal liberation, then how am I liberated? Not liberated, right? So, liberation is not about caring just for oneself. Had it been possible, first of all, I would have done it for myself. Why am I talking to you and to a million others? For the same reason that I mentioned in that particular video you are quoting, self-interest, swarth. My liberation is concurrent with yours. Then how can your liberation be isolated from your wife's? I cannot get liberated with you remaining where you are and how you are. How do you think you can walk away and be totally liberated? How do I convince you that I fully understand how it feels to be with someone I understand? I understand. You are saying one thing, she is not getting it. And what she is saying you fully well know is of no use. And she will continue to say what she wants to say. And if you say too much, then tears roll down the cheeks. I know that. And I very well know that there is a great urge in that moment to play a Siddhartha Gautam. Do that if you can.
Acharya, one last thing I will ask. how do I tackle the question of sex here? Because she seemingly wants it for the bond, the relationship is to remain.
How important is it? If this is something that's going to devastate her if she doesn't get it, kar lo yaar. Anyway, I don't think you are 25 anymore. You would have what, 542? You would have what, 2, 4, 5 years of sexual activity left in you. So how important is abstinence at this point? Prakriti is going to ensure complete abstinence for the rest of your life. Right? So the point I am coming from is, you don't do it and the other party will take it as if you are making a statement. You don't do it and the other person will think it's a degradation you are heaping upon her. Even if it's for purely personal reasons that you don't feel interested, it will be taken as a symbol of rejection. I have been rejected, therefore the other is not touching my body. Sex does not always have to be personal. One can try missionary. I mean the spirit. No? For you it might not mean much. But what if the other person uses this fact to completely detach herself from all wisdom and all spiritual literature and starts thinking, Vedanta is my enemy, because of Vedanta my husband is no more affectionate towards me. And what's the criteria of affection for her? Sex. He does not have sex with me, that means he does not love me. And what caused this? Vedanta. So Vedanta be cursed. I will never read Upanishad in my life. No, for the sake of the Upanishad, once in a while, once in 6 months, once in a while, I don't know, it's a thing between two people. I know what I am saying will not concur with my image of the hard-line spiritual teacher that many people have. But here it's not a question of being a hardliner. It's a question of saving a life. And one life is as important as the other. Just as it's important that you, in contact with me, gain a certain elevation, it's equally important that the others that I may not even know of, I don't know the names, I don't know the faces, they too must gain a certain spiritual elevation, right? And if for their elevation I must bend a little, I'm okay with it. In fact, in bending a little, I'm demonstrating that I'm not bending at all. Because I'm bending for the right reason, for the reasons of truth, for the reasons of consciousness. There are no ideal answers. There can only be truthful responses. Ideal answers do not work. You cannot just pick an answer and place it in every situation. This will not be easily acceptable, but just think over it. And obviously, as always, I never want any kind of unconditional acceptance or something, right? I've just placed something in front of you, just consider it, and then, I mean,
For that, the love has grown too strong. I love you so much that, yeah, it has to be unconditional. No? I'm sorry for that, but yeah.
no, you don't have to be sorry. I know you love, I know you are capable of great love, and I also know that love gets deeper when it gets unconditional. And as it gets deeper, it loses the power to be conditional. Even if you want to be unloving, you will find you cannot be. So, I'm not just toying with words. I really appreciate the situation I'm in, and I respect your words. And that's the reason I'm saying something to you that will be of probably real benefit.
Thank you so much, Acharya ji. Thank you.